A new commander has just been teased for Rise of Kingdoms, and of course that happens while I'm traveling. I'm here at Gamescom having an amazing time. Oh my god, there's a lot to talk about, but today we're here for the new Archer commander. It is an Archer, versatility, and skill commander, and, well, if you wanted Mighty Healing, then you got it. And if you didn't want Mighty Healing, because you have lots of wedge armaments, good luck! New armaments needed, and we'll talk about why that is in a minute. So, skill number 1 on this commander. If serving as the primary commander, deals direct damage to a target troop. If serving as the secondary commander, Mighty heals a large portion of their troops' slightly wounded units, deals a percentage of this skill's heal strength as true damage to a target troop, and temporarily reduces its march speed. So, I don't know if this is like an extra effect or a replacement effect. If it is a replacement effect, then maybe this is good in a garrison situation with the other Mighty Healer. But I think you'd want to use them as the primary commander for those of you that have direct damage dealers if it's one or the other, right? Like, makes sense that they would need to be the primary. And Archer and Skill Tree is a fine combination for that. Now, skill number 2 is going to give you health and march speed, which you'll love to see both of those things. Honestly, they don't give any of the details of the skills here, but I'm all for health and march speed. No complaints from me. Skill number 3. This commander's troop takes less normal damage. Whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill, it mighty heals up to 3 nearby allied or friendly troops, including this commander's troop, for a large portion of their slightly wounded units. This skill has a cooldown time. So I really like open field healing. It's nice, gives you sustain, but healing other units too is where this really starts to look really favorable for me. But that's the entire skill. Take less normal damage, which is great in the Smite meta, and heal some friends. Now, skill number 4 reads, this commander's troop takes less damage. That's good. And while this commander's troop is on the map, whenever it is reduced to a certain number of units remaining, it is mighty healed for a large portion of slightly wounded units. For a period of time after this, their troop loses attack and takes less damage, and this skill can only trigger once per hour, which makes me think this is a Constantine-like heal, which means, yes, this will be absolutely 100% mandatory in Canyon. 100% mandatory in Canyon. That is like, Constantine is one of the greatest Canyon units because of this. Now, that's not as good in the open field, and for a period of time, they take less damage and lose attack. I don't know, that feels a little weird. Let's get a look at their expertise. Whenever this commander's troop heals a troop, the healed troop will temporarily gain defense and deal more normal damage. Wow. I mean, obviously designed to have synergy with the infantry in a way that's like really, really crazy. It's actually really, really crazy how synergistic this is with infantry. And granting defense, this is where things get kind of interesting. Honestly, in a way that I wasn't expecting with this commander. Like, you heal nearby units and give them defense. This is a buffing unit, and this is what tips it over to, I think, being much more compelling in the open field. Because otherwise, it doesn't have a crazy debuff, does it? So, if it's just doing damage to a single target, it's not all that exciting. But giving defense to your team and healing your team and making them deal more normal damage, now we're starting to draw my attention as a unit that seems really powerful. And like, obviously, the factors here will make a big difference, but I think this Archer has a lot of potential, but who would you pair it with even? I think we start to look, assuming you aren't going to use the other Archer that's been announced to pair with, I think we would be looking at like Ashurbanipal potentially as a pairing. But let's just jump in game real quick to talk about some of these archers. Now, first things first, the reason you probably don't want to pair with Zhuge Liang is that they are going to be increasing your skill damage dealt, okay? And that is not particularly synergistic, especially if you go with the healing mode on this commander. So if you have only archer units, you deal 20% more skill damage. Also, when we get a look at Hermann Prime, the dude is all about skill damage, all right? So AoE skill damage bonus. So I think you keep Zhuge Liang and Hermann Prime together, but this is fairly problematic. It's problematic because how are you supposed to be pairing things for the open field these days? Like, we have all these commanders that were good because skill damage matters, and now it just doesn't anymore. it doesn't matter for infantry, and now it's not going to matter for archers, which is super weird because this commander has the skill tree. So technically, they've got damage, they've got skill damage if you use them as the primary. But if you use them as the secondary, I think they do healing instead, question mark? I don't know, it's a little sus to me, but like, if we go back and again, we look at these commanders, who would you pair with? Well, Boudica is an option. Boudica Prime is good, but missing AoE damage. She's got a little bit of march speed, ton of defense already. Getting the extra health from the new commander seems good. But, you know, Boudica Prime's kind of falling out of favor these days, I feel. Which brings you to, like, Ashurbanipal. And okay, Ashurbanipal's got AoE damage. He's kind of like Nebu 2.0, but he's also got a skill damage boost. So if you use Ashurbanipal as the primary and this other commander as the secondary, the skill damage boost doesn't work. So I think you would need to use like the new commander as the primary so it does skill damage and Ashurbanipal as the secondary. I mean, all in all, I think the new archer looks kind of exciting for the defense boost to the team specifically, and I think for the canyon relevance, that's got to just be undeniably powerful. Let's just refresh ourselves on the other archer we're getting, and maybe they just go together. The other commander does a mighty heal, which, by the way, would give defense and normal attack with paired, with the other commander. And it does AoE damage. Oh my god. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Second skill gives defense and march speed. And if it has only archer units, it deals more normal damage, which seems good. Third skill makes it take less normal damage, but if it's a garrison commander and it's hit with a basic attack, it can negate the health and defense buffs of the enemy. Fourth skill increases all healing this commander's troop receives. If their troop's current target is a rallied army, whenever their troop uses an active skill, the target loses health for a certain amount of time. Really good, but that's only if you're targeting a rally. But that does work in the open field if you were swarming it. And the expertise makes you deal more counter. If the targeted troop has fewer units than this commander's troop, the counterattack damage bonus will increase. So, I mean, I think, obviously, the one new archer could pair well with the other. The healing synergy there could be really good. And you'd have to use the garrison commander as the primary and the other commander as the secondary to put them in healing mode to make all that synergy happen. Although, even if you didn't use them that way, you've got the healing from the active skill here, and you'd still have the triggered chance to heal 3 targets, which seems pretty good. Man, I think it is entirely possible the new archers go together. And I think the best formation is going to be the new healing formation. I think that the next best formation maybe is the healing and shielding formation, but it's suboptimal. And I think the third best, which is what most people will do, is just to go with Arch and just work with the normal attack damage boosts and call it a day. And it's kind of good enough. But we won't really know until we see the full details on this commander, and if that's what you want to see, subscribe, because I'll be covering it. Because even though I'm in Cologne, Germany, yet again, for Gamescom this time around, here I am recording this video. GG's, everybody. By the way, let me know what you think about this new camera I got. It's really good for traveling, obviously, and I think the quality's nice. I think the mic is nice. I think this combo is actually 10 out of 10. Let me know down below in the comments. And if you're looking for a full breakdown on my review of the first archer that they'd revealed, card will be in the end screen right over here in just a second. I hope you'll check that one out.